Yeah.
And when I forgave her, God forgave me. He took.
And that's what I was going back to earlier. You usually forgive your parents when you understand them. It's like, oh damn, okay. I realized that was just past pain you was passing on. I don't really know too much about that, but I get it. Like I said, when you don't understand, that's where the hatred comes from. When you understand, it's hard to hate.
Away fear. He took away anger, and he gave me perfect peace.
Mm.
When you forgive, and then he started to allow me to see I was living in my head. He said to bring every thought into captivity. Your thoughts are not your own. Your thoughts are not his thoughts. And I promise you, once you forgive and become aware of those thoughts, now this is you. When you were traumatized, you escaped into your imagination.
Yeah.
And you started thinking of good and bad in your thought. You start judging yourself and other people in darkness, and you call it you. But once you forgive, God's going to bring you out of here, and He's going to take away loneliness, depression, needy, looking for love, suicidal thought, jealousy, envy, strife, and all.
Now, look. I mean, I get he's trying to preach the Bible and all, but this is not healthy, honestly. Like, yo, so they're pretty much saying if you just lose your thought, he's gonna take away all this. I'm like, hold on. Like, honestly, God expects you to take that away for yourself. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, you control your thoughts, so you can get rid of all that for yourself. You could choose to involve yourself in a positivity or a delight, which is God, or you could be negative in the dark, which is the devil. It's like you got two choices here. It's always been two choices in your life of how you can think or how you can move. It's either you can move positive, or you can move negative. It's really that easy, and it's how you think. So I'm not really getting his point here.
All that. He'll take away it, makes you free. You
But,
have never created.
I mean, and that's the thing, though. The Bible kind of also touches on the same thing I'm talking about. So I guess it's just a different interpretation of the Bible. Everybody's different. We all interpret these ideas in the Bible differently, I guess.
Your own thought. Disagree with me.
I agree with you.
Do you agree?
Yeah,
How about you? That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Really?
For somebody who barely passed the S.A.T, you make a lot of sense.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be looking at
That's why I call myself black and slow.
Black and slow.
Black and slow. I love it.
Yeah.
But if you drop the anger, you will drop the thoughts, and I promise you, you'll have perfect peace right here on earth.
Yeah. What you said, like I see you interviewing these black people when you're trying to relay your message to them, they get upset. You could see it.
Yeah.
And you right there, still smiling. You're not getting angry, but they are.
Yeah, that bro be so bothered. That's what it makes Lee Peterson, like, honestly, one seems like he's right all the time because he's unbothered. You could disagree with him, you can call him whatever, bro. This man will never raise his voice and he'll talk to you in the same tone. And therefore you lose the argument because you emotionally, like, I ain't gonna lie, he gets a lot of emotional whiplash from people. And once they do that, he done won the debate, the conversation, the war, whatever. I ain't gonna lie, the man is a master of his emotions. I will tell you that. And I guess if that's his thinking on being the master of your emotions, then I can't really hang with it because I have my own way. But I see it, I hear it. It's just a bit off to me. That's all.
When you say
No shade,
what do you mean?
The complaining black people blaming others for the failure of their parents and their lives, blaming others for whatever it is you complain about. What is it exactly do you want from white people? She's like, what the failure of their parents and their lives, blaming others for whatever it is you complain about. What is it exactly do you want from white people? She's like, what the?
First of all, I'm just going to take a breath. And
I'm trying to find out what you want.
What's your nationality?
American.
Are you white?
I'm Black American.
Oh, okay.
What do you want?
She's trying to deflect.
Why do you think?
Yep, and it deflect. It's like, yeah, like, see, once they can't see your questions, they start trying to say, oh, you're an Uncle Tom. Oh, I'm mistaking you from a white person. It's like, come on now. That's a low tactic. Like, come on, low IQ debating skills.
Why do you think that?
Because you seem to separate yourself from from us, should I say?
In
Put
what
us on
way?
the other
In
side
what
of the
way?
fence. In the ways that you specified thus far.
Meaning what? Tell me. Give me an example and tell me what you mean.
How you mean? How do?
I always do say like, oh, you separate yourself from us. I'm like, bro, I deal with the same white people you do. Except I don't like fear monger on them. It's like I'm not hateful towards them. So I deal with they cool with me. It's like we good. We got a good relationship, me and white people. Well, I hope we do. Shit. They treat me nice.
What do you people want from white people? Meaning that I'm not with you.
Oh, okay.
It's just y'all by yourself, right?
Let me explain.
Nah, not y'all by yourselves. Just y'all in that victimhood thinking that the white man's always against you. Y'all by yourself on that note. It's like I honestly think that the black community is tired of that victimhood mentality. We're just ready to throw that off and just let y'all black libs, cry for eternity about white supremacy. Like,
bruh. Why do that? What you don't know is that there are two realities in life.
Mm-hmm.
One is that of good and one is that of evil. And now that I've been able to overcome evil, I don't identify with angry, evil black people. I identify with other blacks and others who are on the side of good.
Black people.
And so that's why I say
he said it so smooth though. He just said angry, evil black people. I was like, hey, yo. And all right, shout out my man Parabolic Curvature, man. Hey, long time no see, my friend. First known writing was cuneiform from 3400 BC. The first written version of the Bible known came 3,000 years later. Why do you think that is? 300 so before Christ, and then the first written version of the Bible came around 3,000 years later. Why? Well, I'll be honest with you. When it comes to that history like of the Bible and all that good stuff about the cure for, I don't know too much about that Bible, to be honest with you. I know more about the original Bible, the one that you're talking about. It came 3,000 years later. Now, if you have some knowledge that I don't know, please share with me, because the cuneiform was 3,000. Yeah, I don't know too much about what was in that Bible. I've heard it before. I've heard about it before, and I've heard the term or the name of it thrown around a lot, but I've never looked into it like that deeply. Seeing that I'm not a Christian, theologist or whatever. It's like I kind of don't. I've only read the Bible a couple times, dog. But the cuneiform and all that good stuff, hey, you're gonna have to go to somebody or educate me that, or maybe I can look it up. We can go down that rabbit hole together.
You people, because I have to divide myself or separate myself from evil.
Like I wanted to learn
and go along with good. So that's why I do that.
What is it that makes us evil?
I'm sorry, your anger, you're blaming others for your problems, your lack of love and respect for yourself and others.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the writing. Okay, my bad. You're talking about the writing.
Amazing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Up in ancient.
I get it now. I mean, I was just caught up in a moment, looking at the response about, I understand the meaning behind everything that you ask.
My thing in life is that I now know for sure and without a doubt.
So you're asking me why they take the world's oldest, and I got you. Yeah, it's like Epic is where they get the Epic of Gilgamesh. Yeah, cuneiform is where we get the Epic of Gilgamesh. Yeah, it's an old Mesopotamian writing. You're pretty much asking me how the hell they took that all the way into the writing that we got today. Now, bruh, you know what? That's a good one. That's a pretty damn good question, to be honest with you. Like, who's to say that these translations aren't, distorted maybe just a little bit, or things weren't taken out of context just a little bit? Who's to say? Who's to say it's a perfect translation? So I do hear you on that one. I do hear you. But it is a bit fun. It is a bit of something that's outside my knowledge. I ain't even gonna lie. It's something that's outside of my knowledge on that one. We're like, maybe we could talk Bible scriptures, but this one, the writing, you got me on that one, G. Shout out Parabolic Curvature, dropping some unknown knowledge on me. Shout out. What do you say? Yeah, cuneiform is where, to get now. Exactly. So where is this? So we got the Epic of Gilgamesh. Is that the perfect translation of the Epic of Gilgamesh? Do we know for a fact? It's still a great story. I mean, it's still a great story. And now the way people are starting to frame it now is if it's, history. But hey, appreciate the support.
We have never done anything wrong. We're not guilty.
Okay.
We're not innocent.
I didn't think I was going to
We're not sinners, and we're not saints. We're not wrong. We have never done anything wrong. What we have done is identify with the enemy of our imagination. Satan made a home in our imagination, and he influenced us. He has no power, but he can influence you to think and do things. It's not you, right? God said all our sins have been wiped away. We're really free. And the moment you stop listening to the imagination, you're going to see that you are free and that you've been listening to thoughts and they bring on emotions and they've been making you act out and do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do.
Right.
Think things that you wouldn't ordinarily think. And so I counsel with men and women around the world, everybody.
Parabolic curvature. You trying to say that, right? The Q form, like, pretty much has been miscued. Like, we miscued the cure form to pretty much have that, I mean, religious control. Like, where are we going with this, my man? Where are we going? Because there's a lot of places we could take this. Now that I'm reading a little bit deeper into this, it's like, where are we going?
Have the same problem. It's a spiritual problem. And they're angry and they're living in their imagination and they think that it's them. That's why they judge. I tell people, hey, stop judging. Don't judge with thoughts. Don't judge with looks, looking at people. Don't judge with words, gestures, or any of that. And it's hard for them not to judge.
Right.
Because they think that they're their thoughts. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And the devil speak all kind of everything. He speak Japanese. He speak Mexican. Voila. He speak Chinese.
No, I remember somebody like broke down the devil. I mean, the most simplistic way ever. They said that like, or the so-called devil is just pretty much negative energy, negative emotion, negative thought, negative. It's just negativity, and God is within the positivity. Like when you kind of break it down like that, it's really easy to see how people get into like a negative lifestyle or crime. It's really easy to kind of see that because I'm like, all right, bet. All right, the devil's everything that's negative in the world, and God's everything that's positive. We're talking about negative emotions to positive emotions. If you feel more positive emotions, you'll be a more positive person. You feel more negative emotions, well, you know where that's going.
He speak Chinese. Oh, you want some rice? He speak black.
Yeah.
He speak the same language to everybody.
Right.
It is not going to change until you drop the English.
Yeah, I noticed your message is like rebuilding like the black man.
Yes.
Do you think because of the media and the Democrats' stronghold on black people, do you think you can save the black man?
There are black men and women around the world, even in Africa, who are hearing the message of forgiving their mothers because they just didn't know. They thought they loved their mothers because they feel that emotional love, and that's not love. Emotional love is hate. It's not love. There's no feeling to real love. God is a dispassionate God. He's not a passionate God. Satan is a passionate spirit. And so I'm talking to men and women around the world of all races, and they realize I do hate my mother. My mother did impose on me. My mother did do this and that. And once they go and forgive, they become free. And so I'm really talking to men and women around the world every day, man. And it's the same thing. They're fighting with their wives. The wives are taking their children. Even in Japanese, the wives are taking their children away from the fathers.
Yeah.
Because the spirit is the same. Our battle is a spiritual battle. And we still can enjoy life and have fun, laugh, and
crack jokes.
But you'll be free.
Right.
And you'll be able to see the other people, what's going on with them. And you will have the right kind of love for them because you will realize it's not them. It's something else that's driving them in the same way it drove you until you were able to overcome it. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So there's no such thing as racism. It's a spiritual battle.
Yes. Racism was a made-up word by the civil rights leaders. That's why, if you notice, they've been using racism for the last 70 years.
Right.
And the blacks have not gotten better.
Got worse.
Yeah. They went from racism to affirmative action,
right,
to reparations, and now they DEI.
Right.
Yeah. And then they brought in the other people, the Mexicans and everybody, people of color, to go against the white man. Because the white man have more to offer than anybody else, right?
Right.
But there never has been racism. It's been good versus evil.
It's been a spiritual battle the whole time.
The whole time. And the blacks knew that. That's why they told us to treat everybody the same.
Right.
White people and everyone, because it's a spiritual battle.
Do you think Dr. Martin Luther King, you think he was a good man?
No.
Yeah.
He was a mess.
He was a mess.
He was a socialist.
He was sleeping with a lot of white prostitutes on it.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that he was a socialist.
Yeah.
Because he set himself up as the leaders of the blacks and convinced them that they had problems. They're going to integrate the schools and they're going to force this and force that. It was all about socialism. Now, I don't know if he started out with the right intent and then something happened along the way.
Right.
But he was a socialist.
Who would you, because you knew Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, who was your favorite?
Between those two?
Between those two.
Originally, when I was blind, I thought of Martin Luther King as being, but now Malcolm X.
Malcolm X. Because he was against integration and all that.
Yeah. Malcolm X was angry too. He hated his mother. He really did. And he went to prison, according to the reports and the books that I've read. And he met Louis Farrakhan folks, and they encouraged him to Blue-Eyed Devil. And he became even angry at white people.
Right.
And then he finally, long story short, he finally went to Mecca, and he saw all races together, which had been the message.
Practicing the same faith.
Yeah. And he realized he had been lied to by Louis Farrakhan people. And he came back, he was like, no, you've been lying to me. And he realized white people and black people got along. And that's when, according to the report, they changed on him because he said, no, I'm not falling for this anymore. And they turned on him, and that's why he's been taken out, according to the report.
I always do say there's more unity in the world than you know. It's like we get along more than y'all know. That's what I always keep saying. It's like y'all think we're on a separate side, but really, trust me, when things come down to it, we're all on the same side. Like all of us believe there's a God. All of us don't want no harm to happen to each other. We want America to prosper and all this good stuff. Trust me, we align more than y'all know. More
so
unity.
I respect him for that, because we all you can change. You don't have to stay in your hell. You can overcome hell. But most people love.
And shout out to Parabolic Curvature. Said, if the Bible is true and the first humans were made by him, why do the first known stories leave him out? Why did it take 3,000 years to credit the creator or even remember him? Just questions for you. Okay, now I get what you're saying. Okay. Well, now look, you got to understand how these people honestly were attacking the system of God. Like, what they were doing back in the day wasn't actual religion. They was actually trying to honestly teach mind control. It was making God or the religion a thing that you can use to control people's actions and their thinkings and their thinking. And if you control people thinking, you control their acts, you control where they put their life into. And I mean, look how much people put their lives into the church. I mean, like I could tell you a story where there's people who gave it $1 million to the church when they're on their deathbed or need surgery. The church gives them a cold turkey. And it's like, so the church today, bro, and the Bible and all that good stuff is like, in my eyes, they really don't follow the word of the Bible. And if the Bible is, and if you're acting like, oh, well, if the Bible is real, why did it take so long to credit him? I'm like, because they were trying to find a way to manipulate the word of God to make it fit their agenda of, well, brainwashing and mass group of people. And this is all what I heard from, very radical sources. These are people who just don't like religion, who think all religions should go, but they believe in this, higher source of God or a higher source of the all knowing and all that. These are what these people think. Me personally, I do believe there is a God and all that good stuff. In the Bible, nah, I don't know about that one. But I will tell you this though. Like, do I think the Bible, the stories in the Bible are real? Not so much. Not so much, to be honest. Do I think these are valuable lessons that are taught in these Bibles? Yes. Would I teach these lessons to my kids? Bruh. Of course. Like, I know you're saying, bro, like, what the fuck? But yeah, I would. These are good lessons. The virtues are good. The lessons about how to avoid the 7 deadly sins are good. It's like, I can't deny these are some good sayings. And it's a good way to live your life. Oh, I could say the same thing for the Quran too. These are decent ways to live life and run a society. Look at America. People don't like to look at it, but people don't like to, talk about it. But that whole inalienable rights, human liberty, and all that. Yeah, they got that out the Bible.
love their hell.
Yeah, they do.
They
Especially black
love them.
folks.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, they love talking about.
Oh, Bible good or fake? Bible real or not? It has its benefits. Yes, it has its benefits and it has its negatives, like those religious zealots.
Slavery. It's like they worship it.
They don't want you to tell them how to overcome their hell.
Right.
You become a sellout.
Yeah.
You become. You say, little white people, little black folks, you can make it.
Yeah.
The white man is not holding you down. And you can be free. The white man, they don't want to believe that.
Right.
They'll get mad at you. They'll attack you. They'll call you names if you try to make them free.
Right.
So that's why I leave people in their hell. Okay, stay in your hell.
You just brought me out of my hell.
Stay in your hell.
Yeah.
Most people love that misery.
Right.
Only a few would get on that straight and narrow and overcome. Only a few. I hold these women's forum every third Thursday night of the month, and the men's forum on first Thursday night of the month, and Sunday morning for everybody. You should see the black women in these meetings. They didn't know they resented their mothers.
Yeah.
They didn't realize that their mothers had turned them against the father. That's why they hate black men.
Yeah.
They treat black men in a way.
Yeah.
But once they go and forgive their mothers because they realize that the mothers
and this would be all women. Sometimes some women have the most negative view of men. It's like they just believe that all men are just gonna do them dirty. And it's like, well, I'm gonna be real with you. You kind of been brainwashed to have that reality now. Because if that's what you think about men, those are the only men that's gonna come into your life just to confirm your reality for you.
turn them away from their fathers, everything changed. Everything changes because they see now, and they start to respect black men and all men in the right way. But they didn't know because they saw how the mother did their fathers.
Yeah.
And they blamed the fathers.
How did you come up with this? Were you taught this or did you?
No, so I told you that I resented my mother growing up. My mother hated my father because what happened was my father and mother were dating as teenagers and he got her pregnant. And when they had sex, they were standing up. Having sex. You ever had sex standing up? Oh my God.
Yeah, you got to have the right size woman. I'm kind of tall. Or you need a stool. Or your legs going to be burning.
And so they were standing up.
Your parents? They were standing up. What, from the back or what? What do you think? From the front?
Black people didn't do it that way, I'm telling you.
They didn't do it like dogs?
No. That used to be just a white person's thing, white people thing.
Really?
Yeah.
White people got all the great ideas.
They know how to invent.
Who we be with a white man? Yeah, black man just lay on the floor missionary. White man came in and said, man, that's the old school, man. You put that bitch on her knee.
What? Nah. And so they had sex standing up.
Okay, you're perfect. Okay.
My father told me this story. That's how I found out about it. And so my mother got pregnant while standing, having sex. And when she told my father about it, he was like 18 or so, I think. He was like, no, that's not my baby. I can't make no babies. You can't make a baby standing up. We all grew up thinking that you could not make children standing.
Right. You just that slow Negro mind.
Right. That's that black mind.
Y'all thought gravity wasn't going to allow her to get pregnant. Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
You had to be laying down. And so he was like, no, that's not mine. And my mother got mad at him. And from that point, she didn't want me to have anything to do with him. And
because he lied.
Because he denied it and blah, 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 right? So she got married to my stepfather before I was born because it was an embarrassment for black women to be pregnant and having children out of wedlock.
Right.
So she made sure I had a father, in the house. And so she didn't want anything to do with him. And so she tried to keep me away from him. But as a kid, I had this longing for my father.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Really, something was missing in my life. Yeah. And I knew it was my father that I was yearning for it. I would ask my mother, oh, forget about him. He doesn't care. But I wanted him, and I didn't care about what had happened with them. I wanted my father. And my mother was nice. She provided. She did everything she's supposed to do. But I was yearning for my father. And so I grew up insecure with doubt and fear. I was afraid of women. I used to date women, and then when they would get mad, I didn't know how to deal with them. And when I broke up with them, I would have to have another woman waiting in the ring.
Yeah, some backup.
Yeah, because I couldn't have them being without one, being lonely. Right. I used to ride up and down the coast.
Yeah.
sing that song, playing that song, sitting by the dock of the bay.
Oh yeah.
Remember that song?
Yeah. Otis Red.
I used to love driving from LA to Santa Barbara on a Sunday. Feeling this loss from a woman.
Yeah.
I was missing her.
Yeah.
So I would have to hurry up and get another one. But when they got mad, I didn't know how to deal with it. And I'm like, wow, I'm afraid of women. I don't know what to do.
You used to be a beta, huh?
All beta. Beta. And so I finally asked me going to church, and I would ask the preacher, I'm like, look, I have fear. I'm afraid to deal with women in the right. What's wrong with me? And they would say, oh, you need to pray. You need. I'm like, but I'm praying.
Yeah, praying fixes everything.
Right. You need to read the Bible. I'm reading the Bible.
Right.
Though I could never learn the Bible, I could never remember the Bible.
Right.
Yes.
Y'all ever read the Bible?
Yeah, I read it, but it's like in Old English, and it's just the way it's.
I can never remember the Bible like the other Christians.
Yeah.
They can quote that Bible like and nasty and mean as hell.
Yeah. A lot of people use that Bible to for evil.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
And so I could never remember. I'm like, but I'm reading the Bible. I'm volunteering at church. I play by, and I'm still have fear. I'm still afraid. So finally, one day, long story short, I asked God, you know what? I have all this fear, and I'm doing all these things. The preacher tell me it's not working. What is wrong with me? Why am I so emotional? And honestly, I forgot I asked. And one day I was getting up to go to work, and I was in the mirror dressing, and he allowed me to see that my heart was evil. I saw this wickedness inside of me that it was a darkness I'd never seen before. And it just came at a glance, and I saw it. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know I was so dark on the inside. And then he allowed me, he caused me to realize that come from my mother that I resented her, because prior to that, I did not know I resented my mother. And so I knew I had to forgive her. And so she came to LA to visit her sister. So I went over to visit, and driving over there, I was in fear. I was trembling because I had to face her, right? And you're afraid of who you hate. Whomever you're angry at, they control you. And so I got there, I get into the house, I'm like, hey, I got to talk to you. And the devil was telling me, oh, you're going to mess up her vacation. She's having fun. You know, black women get together, they laugh and loud, and they carry on. But I said, hey, I got to talk to you. She went into the room, and I said to her, all my life, I've been resenting you.
Damn.
And I realized now you couldn't help yourself, and I'm sorry. I realized you couldn't help yourself. And in that very moment, God forgave me, and everything changed. He took away the fear. He took away the doubt. He took away everything. And I've been growing and understanding ever since then. That's why I tell you, got to forgive. It's not, you're never going to be free. You're never going to have perfect peace until you forgive your mothers and your father. And you can literally have perfect peace and still have an amazing time in life. I'm enjoying myself. But you got to drop the anger.
Yeah.
You don't have to be angry. It's abnormal for human beings to be angry.
Right. You did an interview with a gay pastor.
Yeah.
Right. How did that start?
What?
It's like an oxymoron. Those two don't go together. But I've noticed when I go to churches, a lot of preachers, pastors, and I was totally oblivious to this when I was younger. But now when I look at pastors and these people that call themselves men of God, they're all gay.
That's because when you were younger, Black people had more dignity about themselves. They had issues, but they didn't advertise it. They didn't flaunt it. They may not have understood how to overcome it, but they didn't do it. But now Black people, like the white people, they tell everything, and they think that that's who they are. They promote it, but in the good old days, that was unheard of. You did not put your
homosexual pastor.
I am a homosexual pastor. Yes.
How long have you been a homosexual pastor?
I've been a pastor for 8 years, senior pastor, and then before that,
senior,
I was a youth pastor.
Oh, okay. Why do you think that God would call a person, a homosexual, to be a pastor, but not change him?
So I don't think that God majors where we minor. I think that we put limitations on God that God doesn't have. And if you go to seminary or something like that, there's a thought process that God could possibly be a woman, or that God could be this, or that God could be that. That God can be whatever.
Lose this man with that one.
You believe that he can be a woman?
I believe that God can be whatever it is that you need him to be.
So can it be a homosexual too if you needed him to be one? I didn't know that guy was gay.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
No.
I could tell as soon as he opened his mouth.
No. The way that I found out, he had another guy with him. And so while they were waiting to set up the studio, to get ready to start, this other guy was sitting out in the audience there, or in the auditorium there. And I asked, who is that? Because I thought maybe it was a bodyguard or something. He like, that's my...
Oh, he's a bodyguard, all right.
I think he said something like, that's my husband.
Yeah. Oh,
or they gonna get married or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? And he said, yeah.
What Bible are they reading?
Must be the homosexual Bible. And so I said to him, so during the interview, because I never ask people their private business at all. I never go personal unless they bring it up first. And then I ask about it, right? But I never go personal. And so I asked him, he said to me, I'm going to get married. Those two guys. I said, really? This was before the show started. And so during the show, I asked him, if you guys get married, who gonna be the husband?
Yeah.
Who gonna be the wife? And right away he got ticked.
Yeah.
And I was surprised he got ticked because he the one who told me he was that way. I didn't ask.
Right.
He's the one that said,
nah. He's like, nah, you got ticked. You got mad when you started really digging into him. It's like, yeah, we're gonna be the husband. I mean, last time I checked, this marriage is a husband and wife. Not husband and husband, but hey, well, I don't know why y'all can't just have a civil, partnership or whatever. And shout out to my man, Parabolic Curvature. He says, don't steal and don't lie are the only commandments needed. Everything else is in excess and is about control. Example, don't steal someone's life away. I mean, don't steal that's a pretty good commandment, though. That's a pretty good one that we need. Don't steal and don't lie and don't kill. It's like those are 3 commandments that we need. And there are other things that the Bible teaches as well through stories that they tell. Or, if you act your religious person, they would say through historical accounts.
Oh, and happy to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, I never imagined he would get mad.
Right.
Because he had said to everybody in the room that was going to be his husband. Yeah. Or they were getting married, right? So I'm like, well, who's going to be the wife and who's going to be the husband?
I'm weak.
So
that's a good question.
Just set him off. Huh?
And I didn't know he would get mad. The same thing happened with a Catholic priest I interviewed. And I didn't know the Catholic priest was gay.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Yeah.
Because again, I don't ask people when they tell me, don't tell me. If you don't want to talk about it, don't mention it.
Yeah.
You have a right to keep it.
Else. I am.
Who I am. Yeah, I got it right. Just before we started the show, you said that you introduced your is he your husband or your wife? Is that your husband?
Yeah, bring it up on the screen.
Or your wife?
Yeah, we don't see it.
I'm gonna end this interview.
Why?
Because we're ending this right now.
Why you want to end?
We're ending it.
Well,
Take
right,
this
come
off.
back.
Take this off.
I'm crying.
You want to have a real conversation?
I'm
no, you're bullshitting me. I'm
not that was a real question. I mean, who's the wife? Who's the bottom? Stop. I mean, bro, come on now. This is the lifestyle you chose. You can't take a joke. Gay. Like what? But that is wow. You can't take no criticism.
Be a part of that. Come take this off of me. I'm gonna take it with me.
But why are you running?
Come take.
Bro, Parabolic, I could kind of agree with you on that. Everything else is an excess and is about control. Now, in the Islamic faith, I'll give you that one. In Christian faith, I mean, there is a bit more freedom within that one, at least. A little bit more freedom and less control within that one. But both, and according to certain people, were erected as control or control mechanism or brainwashing, or in a way, brainwashing. Now, like I said, I don't personally believe that. But this is what I've heard some historians or some religious or some people who don't like religion too much say. And try to prove with historical facts. I'll tell you that right now.
Get this off of me, or I'm gonna take it with me. Please take it off of me.
Really?
You're disrespecting me.
But no, I'm asking you really.
Please take it off.
Am I asking him really question? That's the husband talking.
Please take it off, or I'm gonna go ahead and take it with me. I'm like, bro, you ain't gonna do a damn thing. Like, not with that voice, not with that tone. You ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Or the boyfriend.
He's got to be the wife.
No, that's not okay. And so the only way I knew about that, he told me. And so you know how the gay people love to proudly talk about that stuff, right?
Right.
So I thought he was going to be proud to talk about it too. And he'll be saying, "Oh, we're getting married. I'm doing this." But he got mad, and I was surprised.
Honestly, I think he said that as a way to try to anger him because like strong, like hardcore Christians do not like gay people getting married and making it like I ain't gonna lie, a Christian celebration. Like, yeah, they don't like that. So to bring that up in front of him, I ain't gonna lie, he probably was trying to poke him too. When he got poked back, he couldn't take the heat, so he just left up out of there. It is a bit funny. Like, this man Jesse is a hardcore Christian, and you brought that up to him. Okay.
And I was surprised when he left. Really,
I still don't understand what Bible he read.
Then we had a gay preacher come. Priest, you saw that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know the priest was gay.
You know how I noticed when men are gay?
How?
Look them in the eyes.
Yeah, now you can tell.
Their eyes are glowing.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know until the gay priest said, "On the show, I'm gay." I'm like, "What? Yeah. Why are you telling me this?"
Yeah.
Because what does it have to do with anything, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I know now they're proud of that because they think that that's who they are. They'll believe that the trauma of the spirit of the mother are them. They really hate their mothers, and because they really hate her, they have her total identity. So they really do feel like a woman. When they say they feel like a woman, they do.
Yeah.
Because they have the spirit of their mother, and then the world tell them that's you. That's who you are. They don't tell you to forgive. That's not you. God would take it away from you. They tell them that's who they are, and then they organize and start an organization, and they suffer.
Yeah, for eternity.
Yeah, they're lonely. They're lost. They're empty. They're alcoholics and drug addicts because they're still lost.
Yeah. How you feel about like gay couples adopting kids?
No.
Yeah, I'm totally against that.
Yeah, I'm not for that at all. That should not happen.
Right. Yeah.
It should not happen at all. But that's the world we live. This world is hell on earth.
Because of women. Majority of things is wrong is women.
Yeah, it is. They bring hell into the earth. The gates of hell comes through the woman.
So you know how they
and I want to say though, it's not her.
Yeah,
it's that spirit in her.
Right. Yeah.
That's why they can overcome it too.
Yeah. That's why our forefathers didn't want women voting.
Right.
Yeah. People like to paint our forefathers as these racist, misogynistic men, but the reason why they don't want women is because what we got going on today.
And in all honesty, in the good old days with boys were boys and men were men, the women would say, women are not supposed to lead. Women would never work for another woman. They didn't want to work for a woman. They didn't want a woman boss because they knew how nasty they can be. They thought that women
they still don't. I mean, they trust me. Y'all still don't.
Shouldn't vote. And they were right about that because women vote in due to emotions. They vote in all the wrong things. Right. Daycare, health centers,
abortion,
transgender. Yeah, right.
Men and women's sports.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then they say that women should be leading because it's not in their nature. Women used to say that out loud all the time. It wasn't like something they hid and said. They said it out loud.
Bro, I remember they gave a poll to women asking, "Hey, do you want to vote?" And they said, no, I don't want to vote." What? Women back in the day didn't want to vote? Yeah, believe it or not, and they didn't want to work either. They was like, who sold y'all this idea? We're like, women back in the day are going like, yo, we had it good. How'd y'all F that up? The men buying everything, the men taking care of everything. Yo, you can use your man's credit card and not be held liable for it. Y'all fucked up something great. I don't know why. Y'all ever choose this.
Yeah.